Mr. Speaker, I rise briefly to support the resolution to approve this value-added tax amendment. Mr. Speaker, I do so because this government has been fiscally prudent from day one. And as such, Mr. Speaker, I support any additional maneuvering, especially as it pertains to the tourism sector, that will allow this country to continue to further develop, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the Minister for Youth Development and Sport, it was under this government that a historic move was made. A historic move that when history looks back at all that was done in 2024, history will be kind to the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it was this government that made the bold move to remove VAT on all sports equipment for the young people of this great nation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is these things that happen in a symbiotic nature that allows for St. Lucia to flourish in the way it has done in the year 2024. Because, Mr. Speaker, we've seen what Julian Alfred has done, and the motivation and the beaming of pride we've seen on sports venues in St. Lucia. And so, with the removal of VAT on all sports equipment, we now as MPs, Mr. Speaker, can purchase even more equipment to see further development of youth and sports in this great nation, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, when we speak about the symbiosis of our ministries, we see that under sports tourism, Mr. Speaker, our biggest sports tourism product, Mr. Speaker, or anything that acquired or happened in the last 12 months happened at the Olympics of Paris in July 2024. And so the connection is there, that when a government can sit and think of creative ways to develop different sectors, we can have huge results to the development of this country. And so, Mr. Speaker, as we see another move to further stimulate our tourism industry, we think back, Mr. Speaker, of what we have done and the many things we have to accomplish going forward. And so, Mr. Speaker, as the Minister of Sport, I have no issue with supporting this motion. But, Mr. Speaker, today gives us an opportunity to really reflect not just on what we've done as a government, not just what we've done in terms of VAT, Mr. Speaker, but what we've done in each of our ministries to contribute to this country, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, I beg you leave, Mr. Speaker, to allow me to thank the hard-working staff of the Ministry of Youth Development and Sport for their hard work and the diligence that they put forward in the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank the boards under my purview, Mr. Speaker. The boards that have taken advantage of the support that they received from this government throughout the year to further develop our facilities and to develop this country, Mr. Speaker. And I speak of, Mr. Speaker, the board of NLA, and I speak of Sports St. Lucia, Inc., Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I additionally want you to grant me leave to thank the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, Mr. Speaker, for their hard work, Mr. Speaker, and also all the individuals that continue to volunteer in youth and sports development, such as the coaches, Mr. Speaker, the administrators, the officials, the curators, the media practitioners, the PE teachers, and the sports parents, Mr. Speaker, who contributed to this historic year in sports in St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, this was truly a historic year. Mr. Speaker, St. Lucia is now the Caribbean boxing champions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we continue to flourish as the OACS champions in volleyball, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Johnson Charles, Mr. Speaker, has the most runs in CPL history, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the St. Lucia Kings are the champions of the Caribbean Premier League, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, but there is one thing nobody can ever take away from the achievement of this government and the hard work of an individual, Mr. Speaker, and that history will continue to look back at what was done in the 2023-2024 budget, an amount put of over $200,000 towards Julian Alfred for transitioning from a collegiate athlete to a professional. And so, Mr. Speaker, we saw for the first time in our history, St. Lucia, Julian Alfred, gold and silver at the Olympic Games, Mr. Speaker. As such, Mr. Speaker, I also want to ask you to grant me leave as I say a special thank you to the people of Grosley for the unwavering support towards me during the year 2024, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, the people of Grosley supported me while we commenced, and we have ongoing the Grosley Police Station Divisional Headquarters, Mr. Speaker. The people of Grosley continue to support as we develop the Grosley playing field, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the people of Grosley continue to support as we construct the Grosley Recreational Facility, Mr. Speaker. The Grand Riviere Community Center, Mr. Speaker. The expansion of the Grosley Polyclinic, which is coming, Mr. Speaker. And of course, Mr. Speaker, the many roads, including the Monsitor to Rivière Road that is ongoing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the people of Grosley in 2024 for their support as we place bus shelters in the communities of Tuya, Rivière, Beauséjour, Mr. Speaker, and the list goes on and on and on, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the women's, Mr. Speaker, the women's organization, Mr. Speaker, the youth group, Mr. Speaker, the Grosley Football League, and the other administrators for their continued support, Mr. Speaker. And so, I want to wish all these people, Mr. Speaker, the people of Grosley and St. Lucia, all who have contributed to 2024 success, a happy Christmas, a very Merry Christmas, and a prosperous New Year, Mr. Speaker. And of course, as I said earlier, I have no problem supporting this motion and this resolution to approve the value-added tax amended, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.